Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. This is me Piraga and I'm from Lincoln University. This is the topic that I'm going to talk about. Describe the models of communication. This is the table of contents. Alright, now what is communication models? The answer is very simple. Models of communication are conceptual models used to explain the human communication process. The first major model for communication came in 1948 by Claude Elwood Shannon and published with an introduction by Warren Weaver for Bell Laboratories. Following the basic concepts, communication is the process of sending and receiving messages or transferring information from one part, which is sender, to another part, which is receiver. Then we have a basic communication models right here. There are very common models and easy to understand. First, we have sender, which is where is the information coming from, like from which person, who's the sender, that is sender. And another one is message. Message is, well, we all know it is message or the information that about to convey your message to the receiver person. Here, receiver is the person that you are sending a message to the person, like the message belongs to them. That is receiver. They are receiver. Okay, like you are making a gift and posting it to your friend, and your friend got your gift. That is the whole point of these communication models. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. This one. Why these models of communication important? Model of communication simplify the process by providing a visual representation of the various aspects of a communication encounter. Some models explain communication in more detail than others, but even the most complex model still doesn't recreate what we experience in even a moment of communication encounter. Models still serve a valuable purpose for students of communication because they allow us to see specific concepts and steps within the process of communication, define communication, and apply communication concepts. When you become aware of how communication functions, you can think more deliberately through your communication encounters, which can help you better prepare for future communication and learn from your previous communication. Next slide. Okay, next one is types of communication, or what are the communication models. And we will go through all of these models in a moment. There are a lot, but I chose these four models: Harlow Laswell's model, Shannon model or Shannon Weaver model, Wilbur's Crumbs model, and last but not least, Katz and Lazarsfeld model. This is one of the example of Shannon Weaver model. Basically, each one of these models has a particular communication model. Okay, now we are going to looking at the first one, which is Harlow Laswell's model. Okay, now we are in the explanation section. Okay, first one is Harlow Laswell's model. Laswell's model of communication is one of the first and most influential models of communication. It was initially published by Harlow Laswell in 1948 and analyzes communication in terms of five basic questions: who says what, in what channel, to whom, and with what effect. These questions pick out the five fundamental components of the communicative process: the sender, the message, the channel, the receiver, and the effect. Next one is Shannon model. Shannon-Weaver model is a theory that Warren Weaver and Claude Shannon created in 1948. It is a mathematical model which describes how communication happens from a sender to a receiver. An example of the Shannon-Weaver model is a telephone call. Here, a person who makes the call is the sender and uses a telephone as the encoder to turn the message into a form which can be relayed through wires. The wires are the channel since they transmit data packets into the telephone of the person receiving the call, which acts as a decoder. As the information moves through the wires, noise can arise when the telephone malfunctions. The person on the other side is the receiver, who interprets the message and can give feedback to the caller. The Shannon-Weaver model was originally designed as a linear model with information moving from a sender to a receiver. However, Norbert Wiener added feedback to the model and turned it from linear to cyclical. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, now we are in the next slide, Wilbur-Crumb's model. We saw Shannon model before, now we are looking at Crumb's model. Wilbur-Crumbs proposed the model of communication in 1954. Information is of no use unless and until it is carefully put into words and conveyed to others. Encoding plays a very important role because it initiates the process of communication by converting the thought into content. When the information reaches the recipient, his primary responsibility is to understand what the speaker intends to convey. Unless and until the second party is able to understand or decode the information of what the sender wants to communicate, the message is actually of no use. Thus, encoding and decoding are two most important factors of an effective communication, without which information can never flow between two individuals. Scrum's model also revolves around the above principle. According to the Scrum's model, coding and decoding are the two essential processes of an effective communication. He also emphasizes that the communication is incomplete unless and until the sender receives a feedback from the recipient. Imagine a person sharing his thoughts with his friend and his friend not responding to him. Is that communication complete? No. Scrums believed that communication is actually a two-way process between the first party and the second party. Okay, I have an example for this example. I'm just going to create just two friends, Jennifer and Sam. Okay, let's say Jennifer asking Sam, will you accompany me for a movie? And Sam kept mumbling and did not respond, and hence the communication between Sam and Jennifer was not complete. If Sam was not interested for the movie, he could have responded, or given the feedback to Jennifer about his unwillingness. According to Scrum's model, whenever the information reaches the recipient, it becomes his responsibility to give the feedback and let him know if he has downloaded the message in exactly the same manner the speaker wanted. If he is not clear with anything or has any doubts, it must be cleared with the speaker. Thus, when the speaker conveys any messages to the listener decodes the message and once again passes the message to the speaker after understanding and completing the full circle. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Alright, this is the next page, which is Katz and Lazar's-Fell model, and also this is the last model that we are going to talk about. So yeah, Katz and Lazar's-Fell's model, created in 1955, contended in their work that mass communication researchers cannot treat the public as a homogeneous audience that is uniformly reacting to media messages. A homogeneous audience meaning a group of people who share a consistent level of interest and expertise in your topic. Okay, this they argued was the case because an individual's membership in various social groups exerts more influence on his or her conduct and decision making process than does direct messages from mass media. The term personal influence, moreover, could be understood as the intervening process between mass media messaging and audience reaction. According to Katz and Lazar's-Fell, media information gets changed through to the masses by opinion leaders who have better access to media along with a deeper understanding of its content. Furthermore, the opinion followers share much in common with opinion leaders in terms of interest, personality, and demographics. And moving on to the next slide. Alright, now we are in the conclusion. Okay, well, a communication model can be simply be referred to as the diagrammatic presentation of the communication process. In other words, it is the visual representations of the entire process of communication. The goal of the communication model has always been to develop communication skills and boost its efficiency between the students and teachers. The message flows from the communicator or the sender to the receiver who gives the feedback. However, in between, there is the encoding of the message, the medium used, and the decoding of the message by the receiver before the feedback is given back to the sender or communicator. This is have been the process of communication in every sector. So here it is. This is communication model. This is what is communication model. References. Thank you.